Firstly, good evening, everybody, and thank you for registering for our event today, webinar series, Cool Samvaad, Leadership Conversation on Decarbonizing the Built Environment. I thank everyone. I can see a lot of people as I talk joining. We will wait for a couple of minutes as well, but I would really thank Pankaj sir for accepting our invitation to be part of this leadership conversation. Thank you so very much, Pankaj Dharkar sir, for accepting our invitation. And each and every one, I do understand it's a Thursday midweek. Then I am so happy to see a lot of people still joining in. So as per the procedure, I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, so just to introduce you to ISHRAE Cool Conclave happening in Coimbatore 2021 and 22 of August 2026. Please do register, and I'm really excited. All of us are excited to be there and meet all of you at the event. So as we get into the conversation, just to introduce the team for CC 3.0, Chairman Mr. Subramaniam Chandrasekhar, Principal Consultant, who is the Chairman, a lead fellow, carries out design consultants in the field of HVAC and R Intelligent. Mr. Subbu sir is the chairman. We have vice chair, Mr. V. Sridhar, chairman of NMAC System Limited, and then followed by the convener, Sheshadri Pattai Rangaswamy from Ensever Solutions. Sheshadri Rangaswamy having more than 40 years of experience, and then followed by the co-convener, G. Sendil Raj, principal consultant. So this is a team, and then we have a big team from the marketing, communication, a lot of them. But these are the main team who will drive the cool content. And of course, we have our mentor and Pankaj Dharkar sir, who is always there to be part of the event and who's been the initiating of the cool conclave event. So before we begin our question and answers and the conversation, I would like to also play the video of CC Cool Conclave event, which is happening in Coimbatore. Give me a minute. I'm going to share the video. Yes, hope you can see my screen. I'm going to play the video of CC Cool Conclave video 3.2 happening in Coimbatore.
Cool Conclave majestically moves to Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu for its third edition. Tamil Nadu has been at the forefront of India's industrial and economic growth. A state that doesn't just dream of sustainability, it acts on it and has pioneered great initiatives in this direction. Welcome to Coimbatore, the industrial heartbeat of Tamil Nadu, a city built on innovation, powered by industry and guided by the progressive and sustainable approach of industrialists. Known as the Manchester of South India for its textile legacy, Coimbatore has evolved into a multi-sector powerhouse, home to engineering giants, inspiring entrepreneurs, the mixer-grinder revolution, and a vibrant hub for healthcare, tourism, hospitality, and commercial space. Nestled at the foothills of the Queen of Hill Stations, Ooty, Coimbatore offers a unique blend of business and leisure, a green haven where eco-conscious living is not just an idea but a way of life. Here, decarbonization isn't an option, it's imperative. From green building codes to microforests, from energy-efficient infrastructure to restored lakes, sustainability runs through the city's blueprint. As part of the Smart City and Carbon Neutral mission, Coimbatore is leading in water restoration, solid waste management, and energy efficiency. And now, it's ready to host the event that's shaping a sustainable tomorrow. Cool Conclave 3.0, where bold ideas meet bold actions, where innovation, inspiration, and integration come together to shape a low-carbon future. This isn't just another conference, it's a call to action, a convergence of minds, disruptors, policymakers, thought leaders, and future shapers. Dive into transformative strategies, explore cutting-edge technologies, forge powerful collaborations. Cool Conclave 3.0. Innovate, integrate, inspire. Together, let's rethink our industries, redesign our systems, and revitalize our planet. Let this third edition be a defining moment in ISHRAE, India's decarbonization journey. Join us in Coimbatore. Be a part of this great net zero initiative from ISHRAE. The future is calling. Are you ready to answer?
Thank you. That's about the video of Cool Conclave, a very energetic video, and all of you should be there, register, and we look forward to meeting you at this event. So I'm going to share the flyer which we circulated on all our social media handles. Hope you can see my screen. Thank you so very much once again, everybody. I can see a lot of people joining in. Good evening and welcome, everybody. I am Sandeep Venkat, South Zonal Chair for Marketing from ISHRAE HQ. Welcome to the Cool Samvaad Series, a topic on leadership conversation on decarbonizing the built environment from innovation to implementation. A nice conversation on how India's built environment can move beyond green intent to measurable, scalable environmental outcome. So before we go into that, I have a lot of questions to ask Pankaj Dharkar sir on decarbonization. But before that, I just wanted to share, before I logged into the webinar, I did a quick research. And as per the report of UNEP, they say that close to 50 percentage of the building are yet to be built by 2050. That means there is a lot of buildings which are going to come in a developing city like India. And if you look at a developing city country like India and the buildings, close to 30 to 35 percentage of the energy demand goes into the building. To add salt to injury, the air conditioning, the air, HVAC and R takes away close to 30 to 40 percentage of the power consumption. Further, the carbon emission from these air conditioning equipment is close to, as per reports, is 150 million tons of CO2, and the numbers are only going to increase as I talk to 330, 350. Further, India is among the top in terms of the CO2 emission, which is a worrying factor. Having said that, post COVID, I've seen a lot of verticals growing, especially the data center. Lot of data center coming up in India, right? With the AI technology and Make in India and all of that data center verticals coming in. Commercial building, residential, pharma, healthcare, which is very good. But at the same time, we need to ensure that all of us ensure that we go green. In the last Paris Agreement and the COP summit, India had taken a pledge that we go net zero emission by 2070. So how does it matter? I live in a city called Bangalore. So I've done my schooling, engineering and all that. Earlier, the temperatures were 25. It was very cold. Today, as I talk, I'm sweating close to 32 degrees, one of the highest temperature in Bangalore I've ever seen. Fortunately, I'm not using an air conditioner. I'm still managing with the fan, but that is the scenario. So, keeping in all of this in mind, ISHRAE, Indian Society of Heating, Refrigeration, and Air Conditioning Engineers, you can see the theme this year, which is Engineering a Greener Global Built Environment, launched the Cool Conclave 2024 first edition, followed by 2025, and followed by this year 2026. To keep that conversation of decarbonization as part of our webinar series last week and a couple of weeks back, we had a lot of webinar talks on talking on decarbonization, but this time we will have a leadership conversation on demystifying a lot of these points on decarbonization and sustainability and a lot of that. So before I throw in my first question to Pankaj Dharkar, sir, it is my duty to read out sir's profile. I'm sure all of you know, sir, but it is still my duty to share and read out sir's profile on your screen coming up here. Yes, thank you once again, sir, from all of us from ISHRAE, Mr. Pankaj Dharkar, sir, MEP and Green Building Consultant and ASHRAE IGBC, ISHRAE Fellow, provides innovative, sustainable solution in the field of building engineering services. During his rich experience of 45 years, he has successfully designed, completed more than 5,000 projects of various applications. Fellow member of ASHRAE, IGBC, ISHRAE Lifetime Achievement Award from FSAI, Distinguished Service Award 2022 from Toronto, ASHRAE Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Engineer, member of several other technical societies like ISHRAE, FSAI, USGBC, GACS, IPA, AIA, CRA, NFPA, IQQA, SSI, CTBUH, presidential member of ISHRAE, ASHRAE, FSAI, and past international president of FSCI, past national chair of ASSOCHAM, GEM, past regional chair of ASHRAE Committee for Diversity, Equity and Inclusion, national chair of FSCI Suraksha Index, ISHRAE Decarbonization Task Force, chairman of Cool Conclave version 1, which happened in Jaipur, and then the version 2, which happened in Indore, ASHRAE director, regional chair, July 2025 to June 2028. Thank you so much, sir. It's an honor. I'm so kind of energetic when I read your profile. I'm sure at least even 5% if I could do, I'll be so grateful. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, sir.
Thank you, Vasant. Thank you for reading out that profile. It was not called for. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, my first question before we begin our conversation. So, we have been talking on, we just played the video of Cool Conclave, which is happening in Coimbatore, and then we also talked about the Cool Conclave, which happened last 2 years. So, my first question to you, sir, is that can you share the story behind the origin of Cool Conclave and what inspired this idea?
Well, as you are aware, one of my past president, Mr. Yogesh Thakkar, had a dream to, and in his theme, he thought that decarbonization should be given due importance, and he took this initiative, and he asked me to chair decarbonization initiative of ISHRAE. So this was his time that a task force was created. I was fortunate enough to get some dynamic young leaders. I was given that freedom to choose, and I had some fantastic leaders who supported me in this endeavor. And during ACREX at Delhi, we did launch our first book, first publication on decarbonization.
Yes. Yes.
At that event, when we were at Delhi at the ACREX venue, and the kind of response we got from every other organization, may it be UNEP, may it be Bureau of Energy Efficiency, may it be NSDC, and several organizations other than our own organizations like RATA, ISHRAE. We thought this subject is having wonderful opportunities to create a leadership position for ISHRAE in the country. And an idea came during that evening that why not curate an event which surpasses all the boundaries which we had set for ourselves, and why not enter a built environment industry where air conditioning industry has a very major role to play. And with that thought idea, of course, we took a very ambitious goal, because it was already just 100 days were left that we set a target at Jaipur that we should, and it was very clear to us that we should do these events in cities where ACREX and REFCOLD are not being held, so that our leadership at those chapters also becomes vibrant. Those chapters also feel proud of it, and we in the process are going beyond Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, or REFCOLD cities like Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Chennai, Calcutta. So moving towards Tier 2 cities where ISHRAE has good leaders. So with that idea, we went to Jaipur, and all of you see how it happened. And we had close to 1,000 attendees. It was a very great event. For the time, just 100 days, industry came together, and it was a fascinating experience. We continued at Indore. We had 1 year time then. So we consolidated our position, and we had 100 plus partners with 2,000 plus attendees. So of course, we realized that the venues were smaller. In fact, the Cool Conclave 3 at Coimbatore is blessed with some excellent venue, I was told. I have not seen though, but I'm so happy to see that ISHRAE will be going to Coimbatore with absolutely fantastic event, which is of great importance to ISHRAE. So that's how the Cool Conclave took the birth. And what we have done differently is we have shown our leadership position to the built environment industry because of Cool Conclave, and this is the largest conference which we, of course, we have bigger events like ACREX or REFCOL, but this is specific to the conference. We blended networking opportunity with this. I was fortunate to have some experience in Fire and Security Association, where we have curated um, PAC, Project Architects and Consultants Conclave, and similar way we are ensuring that the owners and decision makers, so consultants, owners, uh, conclave, which is very unique of blending decision makers with us for full 2 nights and 3 days, which is a unique thing for all the partners, because very often they will get such opportunity that such numbers of leaders are available, the decision makers are available for to complete morning till evening,
Correct.
and also doing networking evenings with them. So this is a
Absolutely.
speciality of this event,
Absolutely.
wherein it is not only for 2 hours or 1 hour, or you have an exposition where uh, you hardly get time with the people. You will get
Correct.
time. So this is
Correct.
what we are assuring our partners, that they have a quality time. At the
Correct.
same time, we have some fantastic support which we got from the government in Jaipur and Indore, and I'm sure we will excel same in Coimbatore with the new government now
Yes.
taking
Yes.
shape and a lot of
Yes.
expectation. I'm sure
Yes.
sustainability will find its place with due recognition during Cool Conclave. ISHRAE will get that advocacy advantage
Absolutely.
at Coimbatore.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir, for sharing that. I think very nicely said. You said ACREX, that's where the decarbonization started. And I, sir, mentioned, right, I made a note of it, decarbonization publication. All of you who are listening to us, if you're an ISHRAE member, please do log in and you can pick up this book on publications from ISHRAE.com. Also, there are publication sale of other Onchiller, HVAC, and all of that available. So, and I think very nice to hear that 100 days is not a joke. It is a serious, I think, kudos to the entire team. I think 100 days is not easy. To run a evening event, after the event itself, we take more than 100 days. To run this within
I
100 days,
Vasant, I
it's
always got such challenges from my leadership when
excellent, excellent.
meanwhile ACREX co-chair I was, and probably you know that when I was president of ISHRAE, I started Briar Awards 2006-7. They ran for 10 years, and suddenly
Mm,
we found that Briar is not interested to carry forward,
mm,
and it came to me and Ramchandran then
mm,
that we
mm.
should have some good event. And I had only not even 100 days. We started Acrylics Hall of Fame. If you know this,
Ah, yes,
Acrylics
yes,
Hall of
correct,
Fame was started with the
correct,
help of Diaphragm Danfoss,
correct.
and it was a fascinating experience. And you know, it is one of the prime event which we
Yes,
have in the nation.
correct.
Similarly, Ref Cold we started. I got only 100 days for first Ref Cold. The second
Mm.
Ref Cold also I got only 100 days
Okay,
because it
okay.
was to be held post COVID at Delhi, and
Mm,
there was really very little time, and we didn't wanted to lose that year. So
mm,
again, I got 100 days, and the first Cool Conclave 100 days. So
and
but I'm
so
blessed that I must tell you that it is all happening because of
very nice.
extraordinary leadership
Yes,
which
yes,
ISHRAE is able to develop. I have some
right.
fantastic leaders, young leaders who did all that. I was just instrumental to chair it, but all hard work was done by, and a lot of pressure from my side. So I'm sure that they would all remember all these extraordinary days which we spent together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's a good pressure, and I think all of that memories will still remain with all of all
At
the
least
team. And 100 days is a lucky number. I think we need we will capture that. So just to kind of keep this conversation going, I think we heard of how this event started off, and then what idea kind of, and then the days, 100 days. So how has been the response of this event in the last 2 years, and what are the key learnings that shaped this year's edition, which is happening in Coimbatore?
I think Jaipur with 80 partners and 1000
Right.
plus attendees, Indore with 100 plus partnership and 1500 plus, close to 2000 in the main event. So, and now what I see at Coimbatore also is similar response coming up, is a testimony of the gap which existed and the way we are filling it up. Uh, and also it is giving a very good advocacy to ISHRAE because we are able to connect to top government officials of that
Correct.
state or from the central government. So it is really helping ISHRAE, and I personally believe that Coimbatore will be a next level show for all of us because it will be the first time in the southern part of country. It is first time that probably Coimbatore will see any such engineering conference which that
Mhm.
city would have witnessed. I must tell
Right.
you, when probably Jaipur would have had many conferences, but
Correct.
when we did in Indore,
Mm.
we had to book all the hotels of Indore. We had
Oh,
barely 800 rooms, which were directly or indirectly booked by us, and the
oh,
city did not have. So city had
okay.
this budge. We got the mayor of Indore, we got the multiple ministers. Everybody was flattened the way it was organized, completely digital experience because we didn't want it to create any waste. So
Correct.
everything what was the way it was done, displayed, it was all net zero in that means we did not really affect the uh, environment. So that was
Right.
a very key takeaway, and I'm sure we will continuing that those efforts in Coimbatore also.
Okay, thank you. So I think very important point you said is that having we are executing the event, but also we are monitoring the waste which is generated and we are controlling and monitoring. So that's a very important takeaway or key learning, as you rightly said. And you also mentioned that hotels are all booked. So whoever registering, please do register, book your travel, book your hotel stay right away because believe me, as sir rightly said, the hotels are going to get jam packed or not going to get stay. So please do register immediately and book your stay for the event which is happening in Coimbatore. So we talked about Cool Conclave, how it started, and then the response as well. Very important piece in such events, and especially in Cool Conclave, is it's a 3 day event, as you rightly mentioned, sir. And what happens is during those events, as you also mentioned, is that you have the decision maker, the cream of the industries were all there, the policy makers, the consultants, the OEMs, and all that. And there is an opportunity to network. And I read somewhere if you network, that mention that gives you a net worth. So it's a very important piece that you network among everybody, all the stakeholders. So my third question, sir, to you is networking is often discussed as a key benefit in any of these events. How does meaningful engagement such as events like Cool Conclave, which is a 3 day event, translate into a real business or a sustainable outcome?
So Vasant, I think the key, the way this program is curated, to me it is a confluence. It is a confluence of
Correct.
decision makers. It is confluence of uh, owners as a owners. We have architects, we have
Correct.
consultants, we have engineers, we have suppliers, we have contractors, we have people from all the domains of built environment industry. So this is a perfect place where and also the opportunities to network apart from the high quality technical sessions which will happen during the day. You have evenings which are very meaningful for the uh, our partners, and they have direct connections happening. They have time for taking it forward. We did extraordinary efforts on B2B meetings, which will also happen here in Coimbatore. So this personalized connection will certainly make sure that whatever money my partners have put in there, they are not only going to gain multiple times that, but also it is also helping them to create a personal connections with various consultants, various end customers, which is very unique to me.
Yes.
If a partner comes there, he would have taken 2 years to really reach this decision makers, which ISHRAE is
Absolutely.
bringing them to doorsteps. So this can never
Absolutely.
happen in any of the event. So
Absolutely.
this is a golden opportunity for all my partners, and also it is learning because
Correct.
people who are coming there, they are learning the new. technologies, specifically on sustainability, and the way new we have a lot of presentations which are happening which are very eye opener for even the experienced people. So I think some fantastic case studies which gets presented during this, and that shows, and that is a lot of learning for even consultants like us.
Yes,
So
yes, yes,
when you see your colleagues' presentations, you get to learn. So you
yes.
never get such opportunity in normal forum which you get in Cool Conclave. That's my belief, sir.
Yes. Thank you, sir. I think a lot of important points. One is the B2B meeting, as you said, and then the personal connect. I like that point. I live in a city in Bangalore, and to meet two customers, it is very difficult in a place like Bangalore. And I get just about 15-20 minutes to talk to a customer. But as you rightly mentioned, you have that free time, you have that personal connect in that event, so you can talk more than business. So you connect, you get a personal connect
Absolutely.
with the. Absolutely. And then, as you also mentioned, PPT and learning, you not only network, but you also learn in the process. You understand what's happening in the industry. So that's a very important point. So I would also urge all the attendants who are listening to this conversation, if you have any questions in mind, please do type in the chat box. Please type your question, your name, your location, and the company, and then I will ask it directly to Pankaj Dharkar, sir. So please do type in your question. I mean, last question, sir, on Cool Conclave, before we go into the decarbonization and sustainability piece of question. What's new, different, and more impactful about this year's Cool Conclave CC 3.0, which is happening in Coimbatore, sir?
So I think learnings from Conclave 1.0, 2.0, I think 3.0 at Coimbatore is moving towards much larger and more implementation driven vision.
Right.
This edition is, to me, bringing together wider ecosystems of policymakers, global thought leaders, consultants, manufacturers. We, our own president is academician, so I'm this
Yes.
time expecting a lot of good academicians,
Yes.
innovators, and also young professionals with a stronger focus on actionable roadmaps, measurable outcomes, and industry-wide collaborations. So I see also that net zero and climate responsible
Correct.
engineering, AI and smart technologies,
Yes.
decarbonization implementation strategies, cross-disciplinary collaborations, international participation and perception, and also real-world case studies and scalable solutions are some key things which I see that Cool Conclave 3 is going to give us. So, in so many ways, Cool Conclave 3.0 will reflect the maturity of industry, decarbonization journey itself, from discussions to direction, and now towards measurable transformations. So, I think this is going to be a very, very
Nice.
transformative 3.0 Cool Conclave, which we are going to witness.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So I think you mentioned that about entire 360 approach where we have measurable, actionable, and then we talk on case studies, and then we have a lot of international team coming in. So it's a must visit. If you ask me, it's a must visit for each one of us who's there from our society, from our industry, complete from the built environment to attend, learn, network, and that's a takeaway. So please do register for CC 3.2. Don't miss this chance happening in Coimbatore 2021 and 22 in Coimbatore. With that, so thank you so much once again for talking on Cool Conclave. Now we will divert the topic from Cool Conclave and then we get into the decarbonization and sustainability piece of it. We've been hearing initially sustainability, sustainable solution, and all that. Now it's more of decarbonization, and that is a talk. And it's nice to see most of the consultants, the end customers, builder developer, OEMs also working towards decarbonization. Having said that, my first question, sir, to you on decarbonization and sustainability is decarbonization is reshaping the HVAC and R sector. How do you see its role in achieving net zero built environment in India, sir?
So I think, Vasant, you touched it in your opening session, and while you opened it, that 40% of the carbon emission
Correct,
comes from
correct.
buildings.
Correct.
And
Correct. Correct.
I wanted to correct your numbers. Today, most buildings are getting centrally air conditioned, or look
Yeah,
at a hospital or hotel, uh,
absolutely.
or data centers where 100% areas are more or less air conditioned and they run
Yes.
24 365. In such
Oh,
buildings, the energy consumptions due to HVAC and are between 50 to 60% in some
oh.
cases, depending
Mm-hmm.
on the location they are. Of course, in
Right.
Bangalore, they could be to 50%, but if it is
Correct.
the place where I live, like Ahmedabad or Delhi or
Right.
even the coastal cities, it can go as much as 60% also.
Correct.
So if you can see that number, it is a very big number
Yeah.
which has to get corrected, because you
Mm.
rightly said that 70% of India is still to be built.
Yes.
We are
Yes.
talking about 70% by 2070, but 50% by 2050.
Absolutely.
And current penetration of HVAC and R, depending on the type of products, is between 5 to 10% only.
Oh, right. Oh,
India has to become a developed country by
yes.
2045,
Yes.
and the consumptions in developed nations are in excess of 70%.
Oh,
So you imagine if we have to cross 10 to 70% mark, my population is going to go up and up where we stand. You
absolutely.
imagine these numbers are going to be frightening numbers.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
imagine that aspiration. I always tell people that when I was a small child, my house had only some fans. Even
Mm.
refrigerators, I still remember, uh, was a luxury.
Yes.
Many neighbors used to kind of share the refrigerators in my
Oh,
childhood. It's a fact
okay.
that my fridge used to get some milk from my neighbor's place.
Okay.
That was a reality of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and we have seen the change. I come from Indore, and in
Correct.
Indore, when I did my engineering uh, from 75 to onwards, we had only three central air conditioning systems in the city. Today, my office, after starting work in 2006, I've done for more than 500 projects already. Look
Right.
at the responses which today, earlier, a middle class family would have one AC in his bedroom.
Yes.
Maybe when my children were small, we used to share the bedroom. Slowly, all the bedrooms got AC. Now the aspiration is for drawing and dining. A person which is a little rich middle class is doing his kitchen as air conditioned, and the person who has AC, who has money, he's doing all areas, including his toilet, are air conditioned today. So
Right. Right.
in aspirations are changing.
Correct.
Only few days back, the lady who makes roti at my house, she
Mm.
said, "Sir, can you help me with a energy efficient 5-star Mitsubishi inverter driven wind split unit?
Oh, okay.
So can you just help me for a reasonable cost? I know
Uh-huh.
that you are into this field." So I said, "Why do
Mm-hmm.
you want this 5-star and inverter driven?" So she said, "No, no, uska kharcha kam ho jayega."
Oh,
First of
correct.
all, she's aspiring, she's living in a 100 square foot house,
Mm-hmm.
which doesn't have the proper ventilation also, but she's aspiring AC and she wants a energy efficient AC. So
Right.
look at the uh, aspirations which have gone up. So with
Right.
this increased aspiration levels, and when with that the penetration are at uh, 5 to 10% currently,
Correct.
which are going to be in excess of 70% after 2045.
Right.
You are fully aware how investments are coming in India, whether it is Daikin or Carrier or Blue Star or Voltas, all are putting large plants in your southern India and Sri City, and you see the
Yes. Yes.
sizes of those plants. It is really, really very exciting, because
Abs-
India is going to be a manufacturing hub for air conditioning industry, and they
Yep.
are going to even take care of Middle East and Africa from here, is what vision they are carrying.
Right.
We are seeing 30 to 35% growth in many of the organization, whether it is a consultants business, whether it is a system integrator and the large manufacturer. So it is also important to understand that uh, we are also going to be the energy contributor. We are guzzlers for these
Yes,
numbers.
yes,
So I
yes.
think it's a very large responsibility which is upon our HVAC industry, because if we don't give right solutions, I think the vision of my prime minister of getting carbon neutral by 2070, or bringing down the energy by 2030 by 50%, is is absolutely unachievable. So I think it's a big responsibility which we carry on our shoulder in terms of bringing up new technologies, bringing down energy levels, uh,
Correct,
and also suggesting right technologies for the right application of building,
correct,
and
correct.
ensuring that we are on the roadmap of net zero. I think it's extremely important. And to me, if HVAC and R in built environment is not rightly done, I think we can never achieve a net zero goal.
Absolutely. I think rightly said, sir. 50 to 60% is a big number from our HVAC in a building per se,
I said
and
many applications
many.
like
Correct,
hotel,
correct.
hospitals,
Absolutely.
data
Correct.
centers.
Correct. Correct. It's a
Uh,
big number. And
Yeah.
as you also rightly mentioned, that each one of us should ensure that it's right technology is used. And it is a bit worrying factor, as you also mentioned that 2070 can we really achieve? But it is not achievable, but it is achievable by everyone. If every one of us take that pledge and action that yes, I am going to ensure that we're going to design it, we're going to implement the right technology, I'm sure we can at least, if not 100%, come somewhere close to that. And we are, I think, right now, as I talk, we are the air conditioning per se is the highest energy guzzler, which is a worrying factor. Good to hear a lot of the OEM setting up plants in South, which is a good thing. But the worrying part is that we should ensure that we all pledge towards and ensure that we take this pledge of net zero emission by 2070. You also mentioned during our conversation that each one of us should ensure that the right technology is implemented. So that comes to my second question. In many high performing project, the strongest outcome often come from early alignment at the architect's table, engineering and operation. So do you feel interdisciplinary collaboration is more important and integrated today?
Absolutely, Vasant. I think it is a fact that most high performance and sustainable projects succeed because of early alignment between
Right.
all stakeholders, may it be architecture, structure, MEPF, landscape, interior, lighting. If it is a hospitality project, then the importance of kitchen consultant.
Correct.
Also, the operators, the facility management. Uh, it has to be an integrated approach because everyone has to come together at design stage itself. Because if the envelope itself is not energy efficient, then
Correct.
putting any right technology is not going to really matter. So it is clear that the decisions related to even facade orientation, lighting, ventilation, cooling loads, also the smart technologies for controls,
Correct.
and also the facility managers, all comforts has to
Mhm.
be seen um, with a collaborative approach right at the conceptual stages. The integrated approach will not only improve the efficiency and sustainability outcomes, but also will reduce the redesign, operational challenges, and long-term energy impacts. On the other hand, the project developed in silos will often struggle at a later stage because systems are forced to adopt to a lot of decisions which are not genuinely correct. So, to me, I think collaborative and the approach between the interdisciplinary fields is no longer a luxury for a sustainable high performance building.
Correct.
It has become absolutely essential. It has to be a start
Yes.
point for collaborative approaches. I mean,
Yes.
I can tell you that maybe 30 years back, uh, our appointment as a consultant used to happen because architect or interior were not able to fit in HVAC and R because there could be structural challenges. Then they will remember the consultants will be
Mm,
called. But
mm,
today, in last 2 decades or 3 decades, we also get appointed along with the architect and structural consultant for the good projects and
correct,
before the piling is done. So that also gives a lot of advantages to the
correct,
planners and system to the owners.
correct.
That's a very key thing for, and that is really helping. The trend
Yes.
is changing and it is for good.
Yes, yes, absolutely right. I think it's very important that we collaborate at the initial design, as sir rightly said, at the design stage, we collaborate, come as one team, not only at design stage, also in a, let's say, example for a building, in a building, you have a plant room, you have chillers, you have AHUs, you have cooling towers, pump. I think collaboration at that level is also very important. You may get the best energy efficient chiller, but if it does not operate at the collaborative level, optimized level, I think we will not, it doesn't do a justify there. So collaboration at A at a pre-design collaboration A, B at the site at the plant room level is very important. So yeah, that comes to the HVAC. From collaboration, we kind of come to my third question on HVAC. Before I kind of ask the third question, any questions from the audience, please do type in the chat box with the question with your name, and then we could get it addressed by our expert speaker, Pankaj Dharkar sir. So please do request, I would request all of you to please type in your question. And if you have any questions, please do type in the chat box. So with that, we would go to our question number three. How can we spoke on HVAC and collaboration? My question to you, sir, is how can HVAC and our design evolve to balance energy efficiency, occupant comfort, and cost effectiveness? So 3 points there.
Good question, Vasant. I think HVAC design today has moved from being equipment centric
Ah, correct.
to being occupant centric. So
Right.
it starts with the right building envelope and passive design strategies, because the more efficiently we design the building itself, more efficient is the envelope, the
Correct.
lower the cooling demand becomes. And
Right.
then, of course, we need efficient air conditioning system, smart controls, energy recovery, and good operational strategies. But occupant comfort today is much more holistic than just temperature and humidity.
Right.
It is also it includes the indoor air quality, which has become a very important component, and has been a very good awareness which has come
Mm,
post COVID to a general
correct.
mass.
Correct.
Also, the lighting quality, the acoustics.
Yes.
Often earlier we were not very specific on
Correct.
equipment noise levels or
Correct.
air noise can come, but today
Correct.
a very good quality air conditioning will address acoustics, ventilation, and overall wellness of the occupant has become extremely important. So all these aspects put together, it is also a good challenge for all of us, but it is also a good business opportunity to me, because
Yes.
this awareness is also giving
Mm,
opportunities to designers, to uh, our system integrators, the supplier, to do a high quality project, which were not seen many in earlier days, but we are now seeing that trend is changing. So real evolution in HVAC and R is creating spaces that are energy efficient, environmentally responsible, and at the same time healthier and more comfortable for the people. I think that's the change which is happening for good.
yes. Yes. Thank you. So I think you mentioned on indoor air quality. I think post-COVID, that has been the important piece for all of us. Acoustic noise, especially I still remember I had met one of the customers in data center. They were very particular on the acoustic and noise which gets generated. And not only data center, even hospital, healthcare, and hotels, they are also quite worried on the noise which is generated and overall wellness of the HVAC. So very important to kind of collaborate the energy efficiency point of view, occupant comfort, and the cost effectiveness. So we spoke on HVAC points and then decarbonization. While we get into, let's say, air conditioning equipment, let's say a plant room, the life of, let's say, a chiller is close to 10-15 years. Example, unless you kind of replace it or revamp it with the next technology. Similarly, to do with an AHU, 5-8 years is the life cycle. And similarly to do with the cooling tower. So if you look at the lifespan of all of this is what, 5, 8, 10, or 15 years at an average. So that brings me to my fourth question. How important is the life cycle thinking beyond installation to truly achieve carbon neutrality in a building, sir?
Excellent question, here. I think uh, life cycle thinking has become extremely important because today we cannot evaluate system only based on initial investment. I think
Correct,
you
correct.
referred you thrown some years. To me, I think a good quality chiller, if it is well
Yeah,
maintained, can
yes,
easily last beyond 15 years. I have a number of
yes.
projects where for 20 years, of course, we have replaced those chillers because we had a better quality or better COP machines available, which can pay for itself
Yes,
at that point. But certainly, if they are the if right quality of water is maintained, because it is not only air conditioning equipment, but the auxiliary systems which are responsible or require a lot of health checkup, maintenance, may be softening plant for the water quality treatments. So we have to evaluate them across the entire operational life,
mhm,
including energy consumption. We have to understand that maintenance cost is optimize operational emissions, durability, replacement cycle, and end of life
correct.
impact. I think all put together, life cycle assessment is very important. Today, luckily, with the advent of our ISHRAE's initiatives and various testing
Mhm,
facilities available, we have parameters to test the machines. And
mhm,
also the specifications we have for say 300-ton chiller. I have chillers available right from 5.5 COP to 6.7 COP
correct,
now. I have
correct.
IPLV values exceeding in starting from 7, 8 to going beyond 11. Now, a higher COP machine is going to cost us more. You know that in the pumping area, we have I5 come up, we
Yes,
have
yes.
sensorless
Correct,
speed dryer. Means everything is possible
correct.
today with they do cost, but I'm
Correct.
sure it is a responsibility of a consultant or the
Yes,
supplier to really put forward right savings which goes along the life cycle of that particular equipment and make sure that client understands the importance of life cycle and not to focus on capex which has been the focus for several years. So with the decarbonization, I think one area is complementing it, that once you tell them about the CO2 emissions which could happen from a I2 motor versus I5 motor from your
correct,
field, or a
correct.
um, COP of 5.5 chiller to 6.7 chiller. If we as engineers and from the industry, we are able to tell client that
Yes.
these are the CO2 emissions which we can save
Mm,
uh, during the life cycle of that chiller,
ah,
which means so many plants you can save. I
correct,
think
correct.
that heads up. I've seen a lot of young uh, clients, sons and daughters. They are passionate about climate change, much more responsible than their father or grandfather, maybe. And they
Mhm,
understand this language very well. When you talk about CO2 emission, when you talk about embodied carbon, they do understand that these numbers are important, because they all understand that if we don't control the climate change,
yes,
our next generations are going to find uh, this difficult. I think it is no more a threat. We are all witnessing this.
yes,
So
yes,
people do understand. Maybe Mr. Trump can have any opinion, but
mm,
you, me, and uh, people from this industry, we have a very clear vision that
yes,
climate
yes,
change is here. There is
correct.
nothing can stop it if we don't become aware. I think my next generation, my
Mm,
grandson, my granddaughter will certainly have an issue which is unimaginable. So let's pray God that we all
mm,
have a good understanding of what we are doing. And I
yes,
think this is going to be a very, very important aspect for all of us, whether it is use of refrigerant, use of high performance machine. To me, it is also a business opportunity for
correct.
many of us, but more than business, I think it is understanding of creating this awareness. And I think Cool Conclave is going to do a fantastic work in Coimbatore through this various technical seminars, and fantastic work you, Vasant, and entire Cool Conclave team is doing.
Thank you, sir. I think very important. I also made a note of it. You said CO2 savings from the life cycle of the equipment. So I think that's a, nice,
We
important
should
point.
start doing that. We should
Yeah, we
all
should start
start
doing
doing
that.
that. Every
Yes.
equipment our team members are selling, whether it is AHU, whether from
Yes.
a normal
Yes.
AHU to a VFD driven
Yes.
AHU to a EC driven, or a simple normal fan to a BLDC
Correct.
fan, convert them
Correct.
into CO2. Probably people will
Yes.
start understanding these numbers. And of course,
Yes.
on chiller side and efficient VRV systems, this can
Yes.
be very, very mind-boggling numbers.
Yes. Yes. So so to
So
kind of
I'll urge,
summarize,
maybe tomorrow we should discuss this, that why not
yes.
the current, I will speak to Ashu, who's now
Yes.
taken over as a decarbonization chair
Correct.
for me. So I'm going to
Correct.
tell him that please make a table from a 5-star simple 1.5 ton AC to 3-star to 4-star to 5-star to inverter. What is that carbon footprint we are going to
Yes.
save? And let ISHRAE publish its issues in
Yes.
continuation to the second edition, where we are able to indicate the emissions so that it becomes handy for all the ISHRAE members who
Correct.
can use that during their own presentations to their client and create more awareness.
Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, thank you, sir. So to summarize, not only capital cost, but life cycle thinking is very important beyond installation. Also, the CO2 piece of it, which sir mentioned, is also very important piece to kind of address all of that, and then to keep the conversation going, as sir I also mentioned, you need to be there at Cool Conclave 3.2, which is happening in Coimbatore, to keep this conversation going in. So before I kind of go into my next question, I could see a couple of questions on my screen. I will go one by one. Sir, we have a question from Mr. Maruti Papapati. His question, sir, to you is, with the advent of digital system, what are your recommendations for operational intelligence?
I mean, I didn't get you. I was not able to hear.
Yeah, so the question, sir, comes from Maruti. He says, "What with the advent of digital system, what are your recommendations for operational intelligence?"
So thank you. That's an excellent question, Maruti. I think a lot of work is already happening with various organizations. In fact, ISHRAE is putting up, means I'm also on the board of ISHRAE, by the way, and we are putting up huge investment. Millions of dollars are getting invested into the various applications of AI, and I see a lot of our companies are putting up, and whole approach currently is focused on how do we get early informations on preventive maintenances remotely sitting in the terms, if say X company's headquarter is based in Singapore or say Bangalore, and how does the remote place chiller, the parameters there, how can they be transmitted in a manner that we are able to get early signals, so that before they fail, before anything happens, we have clear messages of the strategies which can be adopted. So that is a very big work already happened. A lot of companies already adopted, and similar things should happen on every VRV and every unitary product. That's what my belief is as we move forward, and good amount of work is happening, Maruti, and you will see these results coming up, so that on your mobile app itself, on your fingertips, your own air conditioning parameters will easily flow where maintenance are called for, and this will really help to bring down the breakdowns, and also probably if they are crossing the energy levels which are set in, they can give you signals, or your CO2 levels can be measured
Mm,
and they can give you numbers, or a management team leader will get his numbers with that, his target set. All that is happening in a big way, and I'm very sure as we move forward in this 1 or 2 years, a lot of transformation is going to be seen.
Thank you, sir, for answering that question. Maruti, hope we have answered, sir has detailedly answered your question. Thank you. Pankaj Dharkar, sir. Okay, I've got a message from Maruti saying thank you, sir. Thanks, sir, once again. Now I go into the next question from Saundara Rajan, GS. I think it's more of a feedback than a question, but I'll still read out to you, sir. I am GSS Rajan from Hyderabad. We are into heat pumps and are very passionate about them. I've been attending most of the national conference, both at Indore and Jaipur Cool Conclave. I have attended. Thank you for that. I have a grievance. These conferences are not giving importance of heat pump in technical sessions in conclave. Heat pumps are very important in decarbonization. They save a more of 65% energy and carbon compared to conventional system. In hot water generation, comfort, cooling, and heating. I request Pankaj Dharkar sir to give some more technical sessions on heat pump role in decarbonization, and the new thing ground source heat pump needed more exposure and support in cool conclave. Yes, sir. I think yeah, the question is on heat
Fantastic.
pump.
I think it's a very good suggestion, but I
Yes,
must
yes, yes.
apprise my dear friend is that we have a special session which happens with Ref Cold,
Yeah,
where
right.
we work with international organizations. If special sessions are created on heat pump. He must not be knowing. So what we did
Yeah,
was very, because several chapters have to be covered during the Cool Conclave. We have 16 sessions parallelly happening, many of them in Cool Conclave. We did cover heat pump presentations, but maybe you did not get an opportunity to sit in that session. It must have been a parallel session. But a full-fledged heat pump session has happened during REFCOLs with international organizations. In fact, ISHRAE has invested into very high quality heat pumps, in fact, CO2 based and natural refrigerant heat pumps in Chennai with Indian Institute of Science, your city.
yes,
You must know that, and you
yes,
must apprise him that even heat
yes.
pumps up to 120-degree, a lot of research work with IIT in Chennai
Correct.
and the Indian Institute of Science as ISHRE as one partner into it. So we are passionate about heat pump. In fact, I have been using heat pump as a consultant from 25 years since I got first hand onto it. And we are promoting, sir, and we are promoting several engineering sessions across the ISHRE programs. Heat pump is being covered, but I take due note of it that, and I will request Subbu to really make sure that this is also covered, because I do agree with you 100% that this is one of the best option for bringing down the fossil fuel, specifically in applications like hotels and hospital, where you require hot water at 55-60 degree and plenty of it. So thank you for your input, and we'll take care of it that Cool Conclave also gets blend of heat pumps. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for answering that. And I think, yeah, you got your answers, Sundar Rajan. We will definitely take your feedback. Okay, so one last, I could see one question. Okay, an appeal from Anshul Gujarati. Thank you, ma'am, for putting that comment. Pankaj sir has gracefully agreed to be part of the grand jury for Cool Conclave. We are grateful to have him in our learned panel. I appeal all of you to take this opportunity and send your entries. Thank you, Anshul Gujarati, ma'am, for typing that comment in our comment. So we'll continue our
So
discussion. I was,
just to all of you know that the one of the star attraction of Cool Conclave has been
yes,
the award ceremony, which Anshul has been anchoring it, and she had done a
correct.
fantastic work. Thank you, Anshul.
Thank you, ma'am, once again. So yeah, with that, I go into the next question. I was watching IPL yesterday, and then in between those matches, there are a lot of this advertisement with chumps. I saw one ad which says, suddenly you walk in, the air conditioning is on, and suddenly when you go out, the air conditioning is off. And then they showed a lot of viruses coming and going, and that AC is saying that, okay, I'm going to take care of all of that virus. So that brings to me to the next question. What
I
are
thought
those?
you I thought you are going to refer to a ad where a beautiful girl is walking and the AC gets on and you can see the curtain going up, but you are very naughty. You spoke about viruses. But there are some beautiful advertisements this summer. I think
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
thanks to air conditioning industry, we are at the forefront in IPL.
Yes,
So that's
yes,
a
sir.
good sign. for the industry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So, with that brings me to the next question. What are those some key innovation or technology today that are genuinely reducing carbon footprints in our HVAC and our system?
So I think some of the promising technologies today include hybrid air conditioning HVAC systems that will combine, like my friend said, heat pumps, a radiant
Correct.
system, geothermal, uh,
Correct.
of course, the smart AI-based control systems, thermal storage, solar integration, and efficient backup systems to create much more optimized building performance. Coupled with this, I think on the solar side, I'm sure the BESS, the battery energy storage systems, are going to shape up very fast because we all understand today's condition, the fuel condition. We are all getting challenged with the fuel.
Mhm.
So
Right.
backups, and we are also seeing the increased use of EV cars
Correct. Correct.
and government promoting it. I want to see that in 5 years my DG set get extinguished. I
Mhm.
want to see that BESS
Yes.
catches
Yes.
up, where which can get feeding from. In fact, I am doing a project in Kathmandu where for a ITC project where they are very fascinated with this application where I'm going to extent of putting a 20,000 um, kVA battery storage, which is being driven by solar, and there is a dual tariff there. So wherever we have a slab of -40% to +40%. So we are adopting storage on chilled water, storage on the battery side. So all that is possible, complementing and that should now happen in the nation because of the fuel situation. You will see a uh, lot of strategies coming up by government to make sure that this load on the oil and gas reduces. So that is where our creativity will also be important because again, I repeat, we consume 50 to 60%
Yes.
in
Yes.
built environment. I thought Mr. Modi should have appealed when he appealed so many things. Uh,
Ah,
I don't know if
correct.
you know that we at Ahmedabad had started 1 degree
One
movement.
degree. Yes.
So
Yes.
one appeal I'm going to send it to him that he should also appeal that people should start
Yes.
putting thermostats at 27, 28 degree, and that
Yes.
would do a big saving for energy to the nation.
Absolutely.
I think I've already made a note and sent to him yesterday night,
Oh,
and
nice.
I don't know
Nice.
whether it will see a light, but I do keep trying that. But that is the area where again, to me, I think radiant cooling heating
Hmm.
is picking up. There are large installation are happening. Geothermal earth tunnel systems are also picking up. We don't have very high quality soil data is available, but I think
Yes.
wherever projects comes up and wherever client decides, I think slowly, gradually things are getting built up. The AI-based smart controls and predict which can support predictive maintenance.
Mhm.
Uh,
Correct.
Also, solar integrated HVAC systems are picking up. Thermal storage systems with very different. Uh, if I see district cooling with static
Correct.
storage system, we are
Correct.
also seeing high efficiency chillers getting introduced with low
Correct.
GWP refrigerant systems. Of course, climate responsive and climate specific HVAC designs are being thought of. My clients are challenging me for some project in Bangalore where he wants to maintain 27, 28 degree with not using a air conditioning traditional
Oh.
system. So we are
Oh.
trying for that with a very large project, but uh, things are happening because there is a good awareness among end customer also that today's country required this. And to us, I've also requested my uh, incoming president, Mr. Nishant, that what country has the wealth of knowledge on passive designs? We have Taj
Mhm.
Mahal, we have Hawa Mahal in Jaipur.
Mm.
We have some
Correct.
beautiful projects which are standing there for 400 years.
Yes.
The architects and engineers have not done research together to understand
Mm.
and put them into documentation form, which can
Correct.
help our tomorrow's generation to design their system. So ISHRAE is going to take up this task, is what assured by them,
Oh,
and I'm
nice.
sure this strategies because every 56 chapters or 56 cities will have some good examples, and we should
Correct.
inspire our student chapters to do some
Correct.
research work with the
Correct.
architects in that city to really come out with scientific evidences,
Correct.
collection of data, and then do some research work so that these technologies can be infiltrated to our usual building. And if our envelopes become better, I think more and more sustainable solutions will see the places.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, sir. I think you mentioned about the radiant, geothermal, AI, district cooling. All these are the technology and trends which we are seeing of late. And I think the technology and innovation is only going to kind of elevate, and we're going to see a lot of these technology evolving in the future to come. And talking on technology per se, this technology and innovation comes from the OEM. The OEM, the original equipment manufacturer, brings in this technology and innovation to the market. So coming to the OEM, because I also work for a OEM. So talking on an OEM, how can a OEM position themselves as a authenticate sustainable brands rather than just making green claims?
So I think OEM today have much larger role. We
Correct.
have much
Correct.
larger role in just
Correct.
supplying equipment. They can become genuinely a sustainability partner by helping
Correct.
consultants,
Yes.
developers, end users making more informed and long-term decisions rather than only product-based decisions. I think it's very
Mm,
important that they become partners, and they include
yes.
clearly communicating life cycle performance, operational efficiencies, maintenance requirements, durability, and long-term carbon impact their products. So
Correct.
conversation has to move beyond only rating uh,
Yes.
the brochures towards measurable long-term outcomes. At the same time, technologies like AI, remote
Correct.
monitoring, predictive maintenance, and smart analytics can significantly improve the system performance and to avoid breakdowns before they occur. This will improve reliability, reduce downtime, optimize energy usage, and extend the equipment life. So authentically, the sustainability for OEM will become a continuously supporting performance efficiency and operational intelligence through the life cycle of the system, and not just one point sale. I think if that is understood, to me, I think we had this BE's program where performance contracting for the current buildings has to take place. I think that can give a lot of confidence to our customer and probably can be a very good thing to happen. My daughter herself got trained from US Department of Energy on performance contracting after she did her master's from Purdue. She worked for 7 years on data center improving efficiency,
Oh,
and the way this system can change the current buildings, it can be a big business where client doesn't have to invest. The World Bank has a fund. A lot of our Indian banks have fund. Many banks don't even know that this fund exists. So the time has come when our young professionals learn about performance contracting, uh, practice with it, and I can assure you that they will earn much more business and money than doing regular sales job.
correct.
It is a
Correct.
fantastic opportunity because every project which has lived 15 to 20 years gives you
Mhm.
opportunity to take a performance contracting job and
Yes.
give that saving and earn beyond your normal
Correct.
5%, 10%.
Correct.
So I
Correct.
think
Correct.
ISHRAE has also a responsibility. I think we should think about doing long work on uh, performance driven contracting. During COVID, when we did not have any work, I did arrange some seminars. I did instigate our World Bank team, the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, and leaders of all top companies. We did one for HVAC segment where Daikin MD, the Carrier MD, Voltas MD, Blue Star MD, along with World Bank leader, and I had presence of 8,000 people in that
Oh, nice. Nice.
but because if everybody was at
Yes.
home,
Yeah.
probably we did one with BMS, we did
Ah,
one with electrical, and
right.
to me that later to COVID, everyone has become very busy. All of us have a lot of work, so we are not looking at to this segment, which also when the new jobs have to be done. we will,
Correct.
I'm sure, do rightfully. But what happens to my old job? What happens to those chillers which are having 1.4 COP,
Correct.
1.5 kilowatt per ton, and you have possibility of bringing them to less than zero point 0.8 or zero point 0.7 kilowatt per ton. My
Yes.
COPs of 3.4 means 5.8 can be increased to 6.7 without any brain, right? So
Correct. Right.
all such opportunity exists, even in pumps, even in cooling towers,
Correct.
everywhere. On the
Correct.
water side, also performance contracting can be done if
Yes.
you are able to use intelligent and better cooling towers.
Correct.
Less consumption can really drive that. So, so many opportunities. To me, the awareness on decarbonization can also give a big boost to the business, and a high
Yes.
quality margins can be created to the industry if they are doing it, because you are not only serving the nation, you are not only serving the climate, you are also serving the humanity, and you are also
Yes.
doing a good business. So it is a very, very
Yes.
interesting mix which is
Yes.
getting created for young generation.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Very, very rightly said. Collaborating with the end user, be a partner, as you rightly mentioned, and then serving the nature and work towards decarbonization. Rightly mentioned. Any questions? We have last one more question before we kind of conclude. So I would request any questions from the audience. Please do type in. We're going to take last two questions before we conclude. I could see one comment, yeah, from Soundar Rajan. He mentioned. Thanks a lot, Pankaj Dharkar, sir, for answering his question. So he's happy with the answer you had mentioned, sir, on the heat pump. So thank you, Sundar Rajan, for commenting in the comment box. Thanks a lot. He has mentioned, Pankaj, sir. So yes, we go into the
I lost you, sir.
yeah. Can you hear me, sir? Now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said we kind of talked about how our industry is growing and our collaboration is very important. And our industry is also growing rapidly, which is a good thing. But at the same time, I keep hearing there is a lack of manpower, lack of skilled people in our industry. So that brings me to this question. We need the right manpower and people to kind of operate during the installation, during the life cycle of it. So that brings me to the next question. Looking ahead, what are the skills and mindset shifts that are needed for engineers to lead the transition to a climate responsible industry, sir?
So I think biggest mindset shift for engineers today is moving from designing only for functionality to designing from long-term environmental responsibility and life cycle performance. I think the future engineers will have to understand that HVAC systems, but also their building envelope, control, energy analytics, refrigerant, indoor environmental quality, renewable integration, operational optimization as a complete ecosystem. And
Correct.
collaboration will also become extremely important, because sustainable buildings can only happen through integrated thinking between multiple discipline, and that is where the challenge lies for ISHRAE, ASHRAE, all the organizations. How do we inspire the young generation to come to our fold, because we are seeing a depletion in mechanical and electrical engineers to come, and that is where I think this climate change and decarbonization is a
Correct.
subject which gives the young generation a lot of interest.
Yes.
And if they know that this can be opportunity for their career,
Correct.
I'm sure we will be able to attract engineers from
Correct.
mechanical and electrical and civil domain to this field, which we were not able to do for some years. I think
Right.
ISHRAE is doing fantastic work towards this. My best wishes to the student activity chair. I think
Yes.
you are going to create future uh,
Correct.
skill into our industry, and I think we need to activate our student activities on the next level, and sustainability should be a core subject which should be taken by ISHRAE team leaders, and I'm sure that will do the magic of attracting the young
Correct.
talents, because we understand that the kind of AI impact on the IT jobs is going to be harder. It's not going to be easy for then to give employment, and our industry is starving, so our industry can get those intelligent people very fast if we are able to showcase the growth and opportunities of our industry offers to these young minds.
Thank you, sir, for answering that question. So what we will do is we will take one last question before we close the uh, discussion. I can see one last question. Okay, last question I can see from Mati Rajan. Sir, a question from Mati Rajan. How is decarbonization taking a toll in NBC, ECBC, Triple E mandate guidelines, and how is ISHRAE Cool Conclave incorporating this, highlighting these mandates?
So I think we are the winners. You must know that
Yes,
ISHRAE was part of making ECBC, converting
correct.
ECBC to ECSBC.
SBC, correct,
But
correct,
our entire Indian ISHRAE team worked hard, and we supplemented the government's important, mission to convert this into sustainability.
correct,
Today, the the NBC may not be there, but the construction uh, for the standards which have come up
correct,
have clearly a sustainability chapter, which we are proud of. In fact, the air conditioning portion has been driven by our own people of
correct.
ISHRAE, and many of us were part of it,
Yes,
thanks to entire ISHRAE leadership. So I think look at it positively. I think critics can be there,
yes,
but to me, I think we are on right track. ISHRAE is on right track. Country is on right track, and I think we have to see the positive sides of it. Yes, there could be many things if you want to see a glass half full, or it is empty. It is up
you're
to us.
right.
To me, it is a good sign that we have started talking about sustainability in our standards, in our
Yes,
ECBC guidelines. Everywhere sustainability is seeing the places, and everywhere you will see ISHRAE is also part of it. So both
yes.
side, I am very happy that today the good work being done by leadership is getting recognized. It should have been done long back, but today slowly we are into it. So thank you, Vasant, and thank you, Subbu, for making sure that is happening in
Thank
Southern
you,
India
sir.
also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for answering that. I think Mati Rajan has just replied saying, thanks for asking the question. An interesting session of Cool Conclave series is very good. Okay, thanks, Mati Rajan, for your feedback.
I
So,
hope
with
he has registered for Cool Conclave.
I was about to ask that, Mati, please do register for Cool Conclave CC 3.0, which is happening in Coimbatore. We look forward to meeting you there at Coimbatore, and we'll answer all of your questions there at the event. So, with that, we come to the conclusion. Thank you, sir, so much for patiently answering. I can see the time, more than 60 minutes. You have been patiently answering all the questions. Sir spoke on Cool Conclave. First 30 minutes, we spoke on how it started, where it has gone, and what's there this time in CC 3.0 in Coimbatore. Then we kind of went into decarbonization, how we can collaborate, come together, OEM consultant, all of us come together, work towards sustainability, look at the life cycle thinking, CO2 emission, that is something which we also spoke on. And then what are the skills and mindsets which are required? And then we took a lot of questions and we heat pump feedback, which is taken. And then the last question from Mati Rajan on ECBC norms and how ISHRAE is working towards that. Wonderful lesson. Entire session was very nice. In fact, during this conversation, I got to learn a lot of things. I am really happy. I really thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. I would like to thank every participant who was there on the call, who has attended and patiently listening to all entire conversation. And thanks to the participant to ask questions. Again, Maruti Saundar Rajan from Hyderabad, Anshul Gujarati ma'am, thank you once again. And then Mati Rajan, thank you so much for answering and giving the questions in the comment box. Thanks to the ISHRAE team. As I talk, the Cool Conclave team in the background is kind of working very hard to ensure that the event goes very smooth. I would urge once again all of you to please register, and we look forward to meeting you, all of you, at Coimbatore. And we look forward, sir, meeting you at Coimbatore, sir. Before
Absolutely.
we kind of close the session, I would request our co-convener for CC 3.0, Senthil Rajan, sir. I would request your comments and vote of thanks, sir. Jekant, can you give access to Sendil Raj, sir?
I can see Sandeep hasn't joined yet. However, the invitation as a panelist was earlier shared on the registered mail ID.
Yeah, Sendil Raj, I can see, sir, in the attendees list. Can you give him access, please?
Let me check one, sir.
In the attendees list, can you see Sendil Raj, sir?
Something, sir. Yes, sir. Just give it.
Yeah.
Senthil, are you there? Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sendil Raj, sir, you're there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, sir.
Initially, I was not. Initially, I was not added to the panelists.
Yeah, sorry.
That's the reason why I was trying to reach you.
Okay, yeah. Thanks.
Good evening, Dharkar sir. How are you, sir?
I'm good, sir.
So, dear participants, thank you for making the Cool Conclave webinar a success. On behalf of Cool Conclave team, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to all the participants to join today's Cool Conclave webinar under the Cool Samvaad series of the topic Leadership Conversation on Decarbonizing and Built Environment. Your enthusiastic participation and valuable engagement made the session highly successful and insightful. A special thanks to our esteemed speakers, Mr. Sandeep Venkat, South Zonal Marketing Chair, ISHRAE HQ, and Mr. Pankaj Dharkar, sir, MEP and Green Building Consultant, Presidential Member, ISHRAE. We sincerely appreciate them for taking time from their demanding schedules to share their valuable insights and industry perspectives with the audience. Looking forward to more meaningful knowledge sharing sessions through the Cool Samvaad Series. Thank you so much, sir.
Pankaj, sir, over to you, sir. Last few words before we close the session.
No, my best wishes to Cool Conclave version 3.0. I am going to be there with you, and thank you. And fantastic coordination by you, Vasant.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
See the young faces and always smiling Vasant is always. You are good. Thank you. Keep it up.
Most welcome, sir. Most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sendil Rajasan. Thank you, everybody.